CEO of Fintech firm Sparkle, Uzoma Dozie, says Nigeria's government should attempt to put a smartphone in the hands of every citizen in order to build a digital road to prosperity. He also says if businesses in Nigeria don't adopt an AI-first philosophy, they will fall behind the competition. He spoke with Arise business correspondent Walter Soderi in Abidjan at the Africa CEO of Forum. Let's have a look.
Mr. Uzoma Dozie, the founder CEO of Sparkle Fintech space in Nigeria. Good to see you here in Abidjan for the Africa CEO Forum. Great to see you again. There's been a lot of talk around this handshake between the public sector and private sector. And with you as a player in the tech space, what would you want to see from government in terms of enticing you to pour more money into investment in the tech space?
Okay. So some context. I think government is trying to do some.
Yeah.
There's to be some initiative. There's first of all some new legislation that is going to help create an enabling environment. I know that the Minister of Digital Economy is also trying to build out the digital public infrastructure that will allow public and private sector to interconnect and to interconnect. I think there's still a lot more that needs to be done. We need, and I think it's all around common standards and more legislation to allow more capital to come into that space. And so when I look at my space that I'm in, for example, the banking laws haven't changed since 1980, for example.
Yeah.
And in that time, technology has completely changed the way people are looking at payments. So I think we need new licenses, for example, for digital banks or fintech players. So and a new way of looking at it. So my view is, what do you want to do, and then what is what do you want to do, and then what is the capital requirement for it? So license the act and not license the institution, whether it's a microfinance bank. I mean, Sparkle is a digital bank that uses a microfinance license. But we can do so much more if we had proper digital licenses and we actually invested the right type of capital. And then when you look at things like education as well, I mean, education and even health, a long way to go. But I think the biggest, for government has to look at it from a revolutionary perspective. And you don't have to look at what India did in terms of identity. I mean, it was big and audacious at that time, but right now it's paying off. We have to look at, I think instead of looking at how many kilometers of roads that we built, let's look at digital roads. And digital roads is not just the infrastructure, it's also about devices. How are we going to get devices into the hands of people? But I think that is the next competitive edge of nations.
Gotcha. So how the digitization path that you've seen Africa go through, how much are you based on what you've observed, are you satisfied with what you've seen, or with what strides some countries have made in terms of digitization?
Okay, apart from M-Pesa, I haven't seen anything scale.
Gotcha.
But I do know that there has been lots of money invested in digital. So, I mean, if you look at Nigeria, I mean, there's a lot, but I think the problem is scale. We haven't scaled anything, and we haven't scaled anything because of the enabling environment. You have to look at power, legislation, leadership as well is very key. Digital leadership. So you have other countries who are doing less but generating more impact because there is collaboration and coordination within the public sector. So we've invested a lot. So all the ingredients are there. We have the right people. We have the opportunities, the problems. Once you have problems, you have solutions.
Yeah.
But what you need is coordination, collaboration, and digital leadership. I think that's what's actually generally missing. Digital leadership at all sectors. So how are we going to leapfrog education? How are we going to leapfrog health? How are we going to leapfrog in finance, in payments? That's what we need to look at it from that perspective. We can't do it the old traditional ways. It's not about school. When it comes to education, it's not about school blocks and textbooks. It's about what is relevant today that AI can. So that's the leapfrog opportunity for us.
Yeah.
It's like we can throw away the old curriculum and just say, okay, what is it that AI is going to do that human beings need to do? Or how can we, what type of education are we going to start teaching that is going to be AI assisted, that we can even do more productivity, more creativity, and more exploitation using that? And that's where the opportunity is. But we need people who are thinking, like think forward, like the future, you have to think about the future before you start the journey.
Right.
What does the future look like before we start making that journey?
Look, you've mentioned AI. I am obsessed with ChatGPT. I mean, actually, it is.
I mean, I think if I don't use ChatGPT 5 times, more than less than 5 times a day, I haven't done any work today from everything, like from even having a discussion with you.
Oh my God,
yes.
It's incredible. So look, you've mentioned education and curriculums and so on. Are public schools in Nigeria being left behind? Because the private schools, I mean, I also want to get your thoughts on the 3MTT program from the digital economy in Nigeria. So how do you see the education pipeline, the skills pipeline to feed these things?
I mean, forget public schools. Private schools are even being left behind. Yeah. I mean, we're not using AI the way we should. So my philosophy is that, a few years ago the buzz was mobile first philosophy. Yeah. Today is nothing. Forget mobile. Mobile is a prerequisite. It is AI first philosophy. If your system or your tool is not AI driven, then you're set up to fail. And so when you look at it from even private schools, how are they using data? Because data is the fuel for AI. So and I don't even think that we have even started looking at how you can make when you use ChatGPT, and what does it need? You ask it a question, you feed it some information, and it takes your information, takes the public information, and comes up with an answer for you in a way. I mean, it does that research for you. How is it being used in private schools? How is it and to do that, you must have at Sparkle, for example, the most important department is the data department. That is the engine of everything that we're going to do from a mobile, from a data perspective. Now, when you go to public schools, the problem that you have is that if you're not, and my definition of digital, by the way, is cashless, paperless, and contactless. So if you go to public schools, how much paper is being used? If there's paper, you're lost. In fact, you're not even ready for even mobile, not even talk about data. So when you go to private schools, you have to ask, how digital ready are you? Quite a few are, but it's very, very expensive. So what's government doing has to actually, so education now is going to be, and education is actually easier if it's mobile. I mean, my radical view is that government has to be looking at how can I give everyone a smartphone. Right? Because once I've given you a smartphone, I've given you identity and a smartphone, I can provide social services to you at a fraction of what I'm providing now.
Right.
You can get educated. I can do free education, at least basic education. You can do preventive medicine. And so for me, that big idea is that a smartphone for everyone. Yeah. That is the beginning of solving that problem.
Gotcha. Excellent stuff. Okay, the government program, the 3MTT, the software program, to try to get more.
So I think it's a great initiative. And in fact, I think we have at Sparkle, I think we just gotten somebody who's going to actually from that 3MTT who's going to be working with us from a data perspective and a woman as well, so that fits into our gender diversity program.
Okay.
But it's like in Nigeria, scale is always a problem. So it's the quality and the consistency of the resources that is available. I think last time I heard is that there's going to be more private sector participation. I think initially it was just going to be the ministry trying to do it by themselves. I think that's difficult. You have to have participation because for in my own business, for example, it's not just about the hard skills, but also the soft skills. Yeah. And so I need to have people where you're ready to go, plug and play, and not just, okay, so like you're engineer, so what? This is Sparkle is a value-driven organization. So you need to have some basic soft skills that enables you to connect into our program and quite easy. So but first of all, kudos to the ministry. It's I think it's one of the largest, 3 million people, one of the largest, but I think it just needs more resources. In the resources from all stakeholders.
Yeah. Well, I think I know what your answer is going to be, but we had McKinsey on. They launched a new report yesterday saying that they think AI could add about 100 billion to Africa's economy. I mean, I'm guessing you're bullish. I don't know what figure you have, but how bullish are you on how it could change things on the continent?
It is, I mean, like, today, I do less with more. You know, like, we have this philosophy in Sparkle, like, how can we do more with less?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that is the opportunity. Today, I'm less dependent, I'm more free, I do much more myself. I mean, so, like, even what I don't know, it's not what I don't know anymore, it's like, it's how quick I can get information.
Yeah.
I like to use a very simple example. I'm not an engineer. I don't understand, quality assurance, it's coded. So, simple thing, so like, ask ChatGPT. I mean, so like ChatGPT knows everything about me and my Sparkle. So I asked ChatGPT, look, I'm recruiting for quality QI, senior QI. What are the questions I should ask? And then, it generates the questions. When we're doing the interview, I record it, and so like it now even I uploaded the transcript. Yeah. And by the way, it's not me that's my own questions. And so like my engineers have actually done the interview. And so like it now, first of all, gives me a rating based on the questions they ask, and also rates the person that did the interview as well. And that is just me. I don't have a clue. Yeah. And so that's just how it has allowed me to really not understand this business, but understand how important, what the importance it is. And that's just me. Now, at Sparkle, everybody has a ChatGPT account because it means that instead of employing 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, you can
So when I take it from a productivity perspective, I don't know what 100 billion looks like, right? But I just know that if everyone is enabled, the sky is the limit, because first of all, it reduces the cost of doing business, and it allows you to do so exponentially more. So 100 billion, 200 billion, but it requires the right type of, I go back again, right type of leadership. I mean, not enough people are actually using AI in Nigeria. Right. It's only a fraction. Yeah. It needs to go down to schools. So like schools the curriculum needs to be AI assisted, right? For us to now really benefit to reach that 100 billion, because it's not you and I that's going to make the difference. It's the bottom of the pyramid masses actually using that.
Exciting times ahead. Uzoma Dozie, it's always a pleasure talking to you about technology. The founder, CEO of Sparkle. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Brutus. See you in Lagos.